financial analysts not happy with Tesla numbers? That's the number one question, because when we check the numbers that they said it was 25 billion of revenue, the analyst expectations was 27 billion. So it was a difference of 2 billion from Tesla expectations. But I think that's pretty good for a company. Of course, what happens normally in the market is everyone wants the companies to meet expectations all the time. But in this occasion, Tesla didn't do it. What you're seeing right now is inside their factory, which is completely have the combination of automation with humans. And that's what I love about Tesla. Now, let's check the automotive revenue. It was $19.8 billion. Not good. Why? Because it reduced 8% on a year-over-year basis. So what is happening? Well, those are the key things that we're gonna analyze. But the good news is that the energy storage revenue reached $3 billion. So that was 113% more. So this is very interesting because at the end, remember the vision from Tesla. They want to be the energy company of the future. And that's the reason, the perfect combination of all the technologies that have, when they optimize the battery system, that's where it makes a lot of sense. So the energy storage revenue is going very well, and specifically because they're integrating these processes and they're expanding their charging network into more countries. Now, the net income was less, and that's not pretty good in terms of gap. It was $2.32 billion compared to $0.33 billion. So it's didn't reduce by a lot. But what worries me about Tesla is that the operating income went from 2.1 billion to 1.6 billion. So why is this happening? It's 23% less. What do you think, guys, is really happening with Tesla numbers? Because at the end, you have to think, okay, is Elon Musk really committed to Tesla? Now he's at Dodge. He's just going to Germany to support the AFD. He's doing so many things. Well, recently they discovered that he's a great gamer, but not as good gamer as he said that he was. That's like a very big issue, isn't it? So, as an investor of a company, you're always looking for this CEO. And of course, Elon Musk has a lot of value to Tesla and has transformed the company since he bought it to the moment that we have it. But the most important question is he focusing enough time in what you need to do? And what you saw was the Gigafactory Berlin in Brandenburg, which is just incredible. And I just love to watch these videos about Tesla and their optimization process. And I want to show you another one about the lithium ion battery manufacturing. This one is a Fremont, California plant. So this is part of Elon Musk's focus. Okay, so you have the gigafactories, you have Germany, you have China, you have the US, and what is going to happen? Well, let's check the numbers. Vehicle delivers, they reach almost 500,000, exactly 495,000 before, 570, which was from the record of 2023. So what is the problem? Because vehicle delivers is one of the key elements that BYD from China is really increasing. So when you're comparing the global competitors from Tesla, that's what you have to pay a lot of attention to, is in the vehicle delivery process. So if you just go down below the 500,000, and I remember talking to a good friend, Pablo, and he invested in a good time in the Tesla stock. He said the good thing about Elon Musk that he has shown is that he delivers, but it takes more time. So let's check another thing. Average selling prices decline. This is very important due to price cuts Asian Model 3 wide lineup. That is the number one thing. So the Model 3 lineup, it's one of the key elements that we are seeing that in China is having problems, especially since they created the Gigafactory in China. But now in China, they're facing intense competition with big companies. I just want to show you, in that sense, what is happening in China, which is very interesting. So, in one side, you have the BYD cars, okay, which is just impressive because BYD is the biggest company in the world for electric. That's it. It's like Tesla cannot compare with BYD because BYD, many types of vehicles. For example, in Latin America, they sell a lot of buses. Electric buses are specifically BYD technology. For example, the new London buses as well, they have the BYD technology. So this is very important because that means that the Chinese are also getting into key markets for Tesla. If you check the numbers, this is what is happening. Of course, the plug-in electric vehicle sales per brand, number one is BYD, then you have Tesla, and then you have the rest. If you check in the rest, BMW, Volkswagen, and Mercedes is less than 500,000 vehicles, but also Li, SAIC, GAC from China are also doing very interesting things. So, one of the key elements is that now Chinese vehicles literally copying elements. One of the vehicles that surprised me a lot, and when we analyzed Tesla, is Xiaomi. When I covered Xiaomi a couple of years ago, I was thinking that this company would just focus on phones. Remember, the process was very simple. They copy Apple, they copy iPhone, they hired the same people that were working at Foxconn in China. They say how we can make a cheaper iPhone. So now they have done the same with vehicles. And that's the surprising thing because, as you remember, Apple even had a project called the Apple Car. But they say, no, we don't want to do the Apple Car. But look what Xiaomi is doing. So Xiaomi expanded from smartphones to tablets to elements in the house to even the cleaning vacuum. Now, cars. And the cars, they look pretty nice. So, in terms of Tesla conquering the global market, it's very difficult and it's gonna be more difficult because the niche of Tesla will be the same niche. It's not expanding to other niches. And that's what worries me in terms of the company because the Xiaomi cars are just beautiful, are amazing, and all the technologies that they're incorporating are the key elements there. Okay, now, good thing about Tesla, they hit energy storage deployment 11 gigawatts. So this was a record. That's a good thing from Tesla. So that shows that the energy part is really working. But I think analysts have not considered that that is going to be one of the major drivers of the stock. That's the reason the revenue from this segment, from the energy storage, doubled. So, good news for Tesla stock holders. Now, let's talk about another key element about Tesla. And a lot of people are always asking me, hey, Francisco, but what about the FSD progress? So, let's see some elements from there. Okay. And specifically because people are happy about the technology. This technology is amazing. So I want to show you how it has evolved from the process. Remember that presentation of Musk when they even created their own chip for autonomous driving. And Tesla is one of the big companies that is against LiDAR technology, which I think was a mistake because he said, no, is it just possible to have autonomous driving just with cameras? Yes, Tesla has proven. But also the competitors, because the cost of LiDAR is going down, well, they're improving a lot. Okay? So I'm going to show you one of the key things that people just say, wow, this is one of the most amazing things. But again, the self-driving from the Tesla, it's amazing, but it's still far from the vision of RoboCaps or the famous cybercaps. Because now, for example, you're seeing the recent version of FSD, and it's just beautiful. Imagine just seeing all these cars just moving. And in some sort reminds me the movie Civil War. I don't remember, not spoiler, but in one scene there are Teslas crashing with each other, driving by themselves, which I think is pretty interesting because is that part of the future that what is coming with the cyber cop? Well, we never know because one of the dangers of autonomous driving, and I'm a firm believer in autonomous driver, is hacking. No, they cannot hack it. Yes, they can hack it. And that's going to be one of the key problems. But the rest, well, that's one of the elements that Tesla needs to keep doing stuff. So, for example, I'm going to show you another key element here. Okay. So you can see inside the Tesla car how beautiful is FSD. The advantage from Tesla compared to other companies is because they have all these Teslas being driven, all the data is being recorded. But that's good for the US, that's good for certain parts of Europe, especially the places that have created subsidies. And I think that's the weird part from the relationship from Musk with Trump, because now Trump is against the same type of subsidies that have allowed Tesla to become what it is today. Because you cannot talk about investing in Tesla stock without considering the billions of dollars in subsidies that the governments of the US have created in order to motivate more people to buy electric cars, like tax benefits. So all these type of benefits are just amazing. So what you're seeing right now is inside a Tesla car just being driven by itself in Fremont, which I think it's amazing. Now, what is the challenge right now with Tesla? It's to really build affordable vehicles because still it's in that niche of the market. So Tesla is still competing with BMW, still competing with Mercedes, still competing with that side of the market. But if they want to compete with BYD, with Xiaomi, with Huawei, well, they will need to change things. They said by the end of 2025, they will be able to do it. What I like is that the Megapack factory expansion is growing. Okay. So when you see the price of Tesla shares, okay, some people put in 250, some other analysts in 650. But remember, Tesla is building the future. That's the good thing. Now, let's go and talk about Optimus, one of my favorite things about Tesla. And they're not the leaders in terms of bots. We have to say that, even though they say they are, they aren't. And I just want to show you something. For example, here is the training facility. So you can understand how they are doing it. You take either a Vision Pro or an Oculus Quest 3S or any other VR device, and then look, the people are literally moving the objects and they are capturing all these movements from the Optimus. And actually, I did a video of how I plan to buy my own Optimus, but I personally believe that the delivery of Optimus bots will be by 2030, very far Tesla goals of delivering by 2027. However, I think they're gonna deliver because I think it's such an amazing technology. Teleoperation, it's part of the process. We saw it how they were showcased during the Optimus event live, and they were just walking. But let's be honest, guys. Let's compare it to what is happening with China and the New Year in China and the show that they put there, which was one of the craziest things that I've seen in my life. So you can know what is Tesla competing with. Just look, and this is what live TV compared to the semi-automatic teleoperation things. Look, this is Chinese bots. Probably companies such as Unitree have already programmed these bots to do this several times. Just check the level of precision. So remember, the competition is going to be very intense. It doesn't mean that Tesla is going to provide all the bots. No, actually, most of the bots around the world will be provided by Chinese companies. So I will also say that a lot of these Chinese companies are undervalued. And we have to be honest. Because of course they're the super fans of Tesla that just loves their Tesla, and they believe that China doesn't innovate. No, like this one was launched during the New Year's Eve of China in 2025, and just look the level of precision. How they're doing? Ah, that's the interesting thing. But I remember when I built robots back 20 years ago, and we have to compete and program our bots. I remember in assembler, my bot was called Asimov. One of the key elements is that we have to follow a line and then capture balls from different colors. And that took us time and effort. But now with large language models, what is happening is that you're training bots with synthetic data, and this will allow robotics to expand further. But that doesn't mean this is a Tesla world or Optimus bot. No, these are Chinese bots. So imagine that's the type of competition that Tesla is going to be facing. What I like about Tesla is that they have very good cash reserves. 30.7 billion dollars in cash reserves. That's good news. Good news in that sense for Tesla. And let's go and analyze right now the Tesla stock and see what moment we are about 400. But I want to show you the all-time high, which reached 436, is a $1.27 trillion company. Tesla is for sure, when they continue these efforts in the next 5 years, a $10 trillion company. So think about that. Of course, this is not financial advice, but this is the logic that I'm seeing, because Tesla is one of the biggest buyers also of GPUs. When I did my video on Apple, Microsoft and Meta, look, 10,000 H100 GPUs. They're only their supercomputer. Okay, so it's very interesting because it's like Tesla, of course, with Grok and Starlink and all these technologies that are going around is going to be very interesting. I know some people just love the Tesla stock. It's a very strong stock, but if you check here, it was very interesting up the 400, then good buying price under 180. So this means if history follows the same, in one moment in the next years, it could go under 250. That would be a good entry.